Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thousands of Americans converted to Islam after demonstrating in front of a mosque in a small town in the United States. The Al-Hikmah Mosque became the center of a divisive debate among residents. A large demonstration erupted in front of the mosque, filled with shouts of hatred and prejudice. However, in the midst of the conflict, something extraordinary happened. Goodness and the patience of the Muslim community began to change the hearts of the demonstrators who were initially full of anger. Before enjoying this story, let us together send prayers to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Write prayers in the comments column as a form of our love and respect. Enjoy watching. In a small town on the outskirts of the country, in the Texas section, there is a simple mosque called the Al-Hikmah Mosque. The mosque is the center of activities for the Muslim community, which is not very large, only around 200 people. They are residents from various ethnic backgrounds, some of whom are immigrants from the Middle East, South Asia, and Africa. In the midst of the harmony of the community, some local groups felt uncomfortable with their presence. The Al-Hikmah Mosque was in the spotlight when local media reported that the mosque would hold an open event to introduce Islam to the local community. However, some people misunderstood and considered the event an attempt to Islamize their small town. Rumors spread rapidly, especially through social media. In a short time, an anti-Islam group decided to hold a demonstration in front of the mosque as a form of protest. On the appointed day, the demonstration began. Hundreds of people gathered in front of the Al-Hikmah Mosque. They carried banners with various slogans, such as "Reject American Sharia," "For all, not for Islam," and "Stop foreign influence." Some of the demonstrators were loud and confrontational, while others remained quiet but firm. Amidst this tension, Imam Ahmad stepped out of the building carrying bottles of mineral water and some snacks. "Please drink. The weather is very hot today," said Imam Ahmad, while distributing water to several people in the front row of the crowd. The demonstrators were shocked. Some of them even hesitated to accept the offer, but their thirst made them finally accept the bottles. A young woman named Sayer, one of the leaders of the Disis Andan demonstration, entered the Al-Hikmah Mosque and was greeted warmly by the congregation, who were resting after praying. Ahmad guided them to look around the mosque, explaining how Muslims pray and the basic values in Islam, such as honesty, love, and peace. "We just want to live in peace like all of you," Ahmad said. "Islam is a religion of purity that preaches love." Being in the mosque was something Sar had never experienced before. She felt a change in attitude. A week after the first demonstration, the group of demonstrators gathered again in front of the mosque. This time, there were fewer of them, and the atmosphere felt more relaxed. Sar was there again, but she didn't bring a banner or shout. Instead, she held a piece of paper full of questions about Islam. When Ahmad saw Sar coming, he greeted her warmly. One story shared by Ahmad caught Sar's attention. The story of a devout Muslim who faced prejudice, but responded with kindness and patience. This story reflected the true values of Islam, values that resonated deeply with Sar. Her father, John, was a staunch critic of Islam, viewing it as a threat to their country. Sar struggled with this perception, knowing it was far from the truth. She felt torn between her family's views and the values she was beginning to understand. Among the congregation, there was a lingering fear. Many worried that the threat of hostility would turn into a reality. Chris, another demonstrator, often found himself silent, feeling a sense of peace within the mosque, but conflicted in his life outside. Chris's gang had started to notice changes in his behavior. Feeling the weight of depression and his family's criticism, Chris decided to talk to Ahmad privately one night. "I don't know what I'm looking for," Chris admitted, "but I know I'm searching for peace." Ahmad listened patiently, understanding that Chris was at a turning point. A few days later, Sar invited Chris to the mosque. Although the two didn't know each other well, they shared a curiosity about Islam. "So why did you come here?" Sar asked as they sat in the mosque courtyard. Chris sighed. "I'm looking for something different, something real." Their conversation turned into a deep discussion about faith, spirituality, and purpose. For both of them, the journey had only just begun. Sar knew she couldn't keep her interest in Islam a secret from her family any longer. One night, she gathered the courage to talk to them. Sitting in the living room with her father, mother, and younger brother, she began the difficult conversation. "Dad, I want to talk about something important," she said quietly but firmly. John, who was reading, looked up. "What is it?" Sar took a deep breath. "I've been learning about Islam, and it's not what you think. It's not a threat. It's about peace, love, and understanding. I've studied it myself, and I feel drawn to it." John's face hardened. "This isn't what we believe in this house." Sar's younger brother looked away, while her mother seemed unsure of what to say. Sar knew it would take time, but she was determined to stay true to herself. Meanwhile, Chris faced his own challenges. Leaving the gang was not easy. In their world, it was seen as betrayal. One evening, Chris went to Malik at the mosque to ask for advice. "I want to leave," Chris said, his voice trembling, "but I'm afraid they won't let me go." Malik listened intently, offering words of support and understanding. "Leaving won't be easy," Malik said, "but you have to decide what kind of life you want to live. Trust in Allah and stay strong." For Sar and Chris, the journey was far from over. Both faced new challenges, but they also found hope and a sense of purpose within the mosque and its community. They won Khan's worries to Islam, and both of them easily agreed that they had to move forward, no matter how difficult it was. Sar decided to say the Shahada first. Fast Darada, he planned. Chris decided to talk to Malik and the community lawyer about the steps to leave his gang. The day of the Shahada, Sar, the long-awaited day finally came. Tiber stood in front of the mosque with tears in his eyes. Ahmad Mb Uhun looked at him angrily. "You know what this means, right? You can't just leave." Chris stood firm. "I don't care. I have my own life, and I'm not going to throw it away for this." Even though the situation was tense, Chris managed to get out of the gang with the help of Malik and the mosque community. His courage inspired some of the other gang members to start reconsidering their choices. Unity was growing amidst all the challenges. The Muslim community began to see signs of hope. More and more people started coming to the mosque, both to learn about Islam and to show their support. Sar and Chris became symbols of courage and determination, inspiring those around them. But the threat to the mosque was not completely gone. Anti-Islamic groups began to plan more extreme measures, and the community had to prepare for greater challenges. Sarah began to feel peace in her life. She learned to pray, read the Quran, and adapt to a new way of life. But the challenges did not end. One day, she received a call from her mother, who was crying. "Come home, we just want you back. Your father hasn't stopped being angry since you left," said her mother. Sarah knew that this was her mother's calling, but she also understood that her return home could spark a new conflict. After consulting with Ahmad and several Muslim women at the mosque, she decided to go home to talk to her father. At her father's house, she greeted him with her usual. Her father replied, "I don't mean to criticize anyone. I'm just accompanying you. The way of life that makes me feel peaceful," Sarah said. The long conversation did not end with a hug, but for the first time, his father heard Sar's side of the story without screaming. This became the beginning of their little reconciliation. Chris, who managed to get out of the gang, now feels like a new person. But leaving the gang means losing his friends, money, and a man who he used to have. He began to learn about Islam. One day he asked Malik, "Do I deserve to be a Muslim with a past like this?" Malik smiled. "Islam is about the future, Chris. Not about what has happened, but about what you will do next." Those words made Chris determined. Taking the next step, on a quiet night in the mosque, he said the Shahada in front of the congregation, witnessed by those who supported him from the back row. Tears of emotion wet the faces of many people that night. Meanwhile, anti-Islam groups in the city began to increase their actions. They organized large demonstrations in front of the mosque, distributing pamphlets full of hatred and inciting the emotions of residents who still doubted Islam. Ahmad, as the imam, decided to face them in a peaceful way. He asked some members of the community to prepare a meal and invite the demonstrators. "Do you think we will believe that?" one of the protesters said loudly. "You have a hidden agenda, and we will not let it happen." Emily, a friend of Sar, spoke in front of the crowd of demonstrators. "Do you know what really happens in this mosque? They teach peace, not hatred," she said. "I came there myself and learned a lot. If you really care, come in and see for yourself." Her statement made some residents think twice. Some of them started approaching the mosque community for dialogue. Attacks at night. However, not everyone wanted peace. One night, the mosque was attacked by a group of unknown people. The windows were broken, the walls of the mosque were scribbled with hateful words, and some items were badly damaged. Despite this, Ahmad remained steadfast. He began holding weekly open dialogue sessions, inviting anyone to ask questions about Islam without fear of being judged. Sarah, who was now more confident, became one of the speakers in the discussions. "I used to be full of prejudices," she told the participants, "but after I studied, I found truths that I never expected." Chris, on the other hand, began to help local youth leave their hard lives. He became a mentor for them, sharing the story of his struggle to get out of the gang and find peace in Islam. Steve and the moment of transformation. Steve, the leader of the anti-Islam group, began to feel isolated. Many of his members left the group after witnessing the peaceful actions of the mosque community. He felt frustrated and angry, but also curious. One day, Steve came to the mosque secretly. He wanted to see for himself what was really happening. Quietly and slowly, he attended a discussion. Over time, he began to listen, understand, and question his own beliefs. A city transformed. The city's main mosque changed drastically. The Al-Hikmah Mosque became a center of unity for Muslim and non-Muslim families. This unity broke through the hearts of many who had lived in fear. After a long process, many people declared their faith together in the mosque's courtyard, under the witness of a new symbol installed at its entrance. The sign read, "Al-Hikmah, Home for All." Peace finally prevailed, proving that steadfastness and patience can overcome even the greatest challenges. Al-Hikmah now stands as a symbol of unity, hope, and community. A new beginning. The mosque is filled with the light of togetherness, welcoming everyone, regardless of their background, with open arms. In the courtyard, the new sign, Al-Hikmah, Home for All, shines brightly. The call to prayer flows softly, inviting anyone who seeks to come closer to the Creator. With a peaceful smile on his face, Imam Ahmad stands before a community stronger than ever. He says, "All this is proof that goodness and compassion can always defeat hatred. No matter how dark the beginning, light will always find its path." He concludes with the same words that have been the foundation of this great change. "Peace be upon you, and may Allah bless you." This is the end of our video. If you enjoy Islamic content like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.